The people need to understand that there are candidates like myself and others that we have a mission. And the mission is to fix this country because we've sat down and we've seen the direction it's gone. It needs to be fixed. There's too many people that's out. They're suffering. They're hurting. Their families are suffering. And we need to make sure that we secure Cayman for the future. All right? Not all is lost, all right? Not all is lost. And so I'm telling the Georgetown voters, because many of you all are texting me, messaging me and whatnot, thank you so much for the support. Thank you very much, Joey, for having me. Hopefully bring me on again. We need 2 hours next time.
We do, yeah.
And I just want to say thanks. Guys, remember, May 22nd, 49 days away. Save a vote for me. Matthew Leslie, 2013 campaign, www.matthew2013.ky.
Nothing is off the table. It's the Joey Ebanks Show on 5FM.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Joey Ebanks Show, and I want to reiterate once again that everything I say on here is my opinion. I'm not scripted. It's on my opinion. If there's anything libelous, it's all on me. All on me. So, just for clarity, that's recorded. If you want a copy of that, you can have it. I have two new guests. Two gentlemen from the District of Georgetown. I have directly to my left here Mr. Piercy, Mr. Jonathan Piercy, and we have Mr. Real Borden. So what I'd like to do, gentlemen, if you would, we never know if someone new is tuned in and hearing you for the first time, is just give them a little introduction, who you are, why you're here, why you're running, why you want to be elected, and how you're finding the campaign so far. You want to go first, Jonathan?
Sure, absolutely. First of all, I want to thank you, Joy, for inviting me onto the program. I want to thank Vibe FM for allowing us to come in and use their studio for this opportunity. Just quickly, by way of background, my father was the late Sidney Piercy. Many years ago, he worked for many years at Caribbean Utilities Company. I grew up on Smith Road. All of the Pierces are family. Most of them are probably my sisters or brothers. And the reason I'm running for the District of Georgetown is because I do believe that I'm one of the people, and I understand the struggle, the daily struggle, and I know that the United Democratic Party, along with my assistance, we can provide some real relief over the next 4-year term. I'm very my background, just quickly. My immediate past job was director over at the Department of Commerce and Investment, and that department is responsible for foreign direct investment, attracting, facilitating, retaining foreign direct investment. But aside from that, I have years of experience in the financial services market, and I'm just here, as I say, to sit down and have a discussion with you pretty much about the economy, what makes it work, what keeps it vibrant, what keeps it healthy, and certainly here to get any sort of calls in and answer whatever calls that might be coming into the program. So I'm here for the next hour. I'm ready to talk about anything, the economy or anything else for that matter. So I'm just here.
Excellent. Thank you, Jonathan. Now, Real, you and I, before you get into yours, I want to make people know that I think you and I first met as adults. You were a student at ICCI, and you carried a 4.0 GPA every single quarter. I was lecturing there. I didn't have you in any of my classes, but you were the talk of the campus that you could walk into classrooms and just zip through material and textbooks and maintain a 4.0. So for people need to understand that these are two highly qualified gentlemen running in this race in the District of Georgetown. So I wanted to let people know that, you have paid your dues academically as well. Okay, Real? So please introduce yourself.
Thank you very much, Joey. That is certainly a very humbling statement. Just to clarify that work was not that easy to make a grade. I did have to work my butt off. So although it might have looked easy, let me tell you what, there were many tireless nights.
I know the feeling.
And let me tell you, many of my ICCI colleagues working on we had to do a lot of homework on Sundays, and Sundays were committed to homework. And being married at the time, it was tough. It was tough. It's a big commitment to make to work and study at the same time is a huge commitment. But I tell you, ICCI has a great soul, and that's one of the things that got me through it. The people that were there were fantastic. So just to give a quick background, I am 40 years old, and my great-grandfather, I share the name with my great-grandfather, Captain Real Borden, who built the Elmsley Memorial Church and the town halls and the post offices that we enjoy today. And my father is Robert Bodden. He started an air conditioning business and then went into electrical and plumbing. And so I've been in the construction and building industry all my life. It's in my blood. My mother is Chastine Bodden. She has the Christian Enlightenment bookstore there. And so I've been brought up in a really good Christian family, something that I'm very proud of and very pleased to have. That's one of the things that's important to me is the family unit going forward is to be hopefully a champion for the family unit. I grew up on Crew Road, right on Ryan's Road. I spent 17, 18 years there of my life with many friends in that area. Through ICCI, I got an accounting degree. I hold an accounting degree, and I also hold professional qualifications in construction as well as a certified professional estimator through the American Society of Professional Estimators. It's the equivalent of the quantitative surveyor out of England. Since coming back from school and finishing school, I did go overseas to college as well, and I did ICCI as well. For the last 15 years, I've been in the construction industry, starting out at the very bottom, literally from pouring concrete right all the way up to eventually building and selling our own developments. So it's been a real hands-on experience for me. And more recently, I've been applying myself in the hedge funds space. I head up the local office now of an international hedge fund business, and it's a very fast-growing hedge fund business, and I serve as a director on a number of hedge funds as well. One of the reasons I wanted to get involved with government is I see a need right now for good people to step up to the plate and roll up their sleeves. We have some of the old champions out there that are getting older now, and we need to start getting some new replacements in to take our country forward for the next 20 years. And I think that's one of the very important things that I hope to work on is a sort of a 20-year development plan, because I think of where I'm at right now. I'm 40 years old. And when I think about where I was at when I was 20, I think about my mindset when I was at 20, and I see where my mindset is at right now at 40 years old and with a little girl that's 3 years old. And I fast forward the clock and I say, well, where am I going to be when I turn 60? Where do I want Cayman to be? And where will my girl be when she's 23, when she's beginning to start her life, start her whole family? And I want Cayman to be a fantastic place, and I think we need to be thinking 20 years ahead now. We need to be setting Cayman up now for that 20-year future that we will be in. And some of the things that are important for that are of course, employment and looking at all jobs. All jobs are respectable jobs, not just accountants or lawyers or bankers. Every single job is very important. And I encourage everyone every day to do the best that they can at whatever they do. It's very important that they do a good job at whatever they do. And they can earn a living. After all, a dollar is a dollar, no matter how you earn it, as long as it's fair. And so education and employment are certainly two of the things that I want to champion, and also planning and development for the country with my construction background.
Okay, so gentlemen, one of the topics that we had, we're focused mostly on economics, is the topics that we say we would use. And in the first segment, we didn't get an opportunity to touch on how do we rebuild this recessed economy? So I'd like to start it off, if you will, talking about that, because everybody knows now we are in a recessed economy. We don't need to tell people that anymore. People get it. They're unemployed. They know. Where do we go from here to bring down unemployment and rebuild our economy? More importantly, here's my question to both of you. How do we ensure that Caymanians for the next 50 years are not economic spectators, that they are involved in the economic participants going forward? Jonathan?
Well, the first thing I want to say is when it comes to the current unemployment situation, there are a number of things that are happening. And one of the things that we need to be very cognizant of is that the employer isn't fully aware of who is currently unemployed.
Correct.
And what the skill set is. I know back in 2009, the United Democratic Party advocated setting up a human resources authority. That authority had what in essence it would do was to take away the function, the work permit function from immigration, and they would take care of that. In addition to that, they would be doing on-site and off-site HR audits.
Right.
One of the things that we need to employ, obviously, with that is we need to embrace technology more, Joey, and we could start by creating a database that would be accessible to the general public,
yes,
especially to the employer, yes, and the employee seeking work.
Yeah.
And what needs to happen right along the entire that entire process is that employers need to be able to tap into that database and search for skill sets that they need immediately.
That's right.
K-miners that have those skill sets need to be immediately employed, no questions asked. One of the other things that I'm finding out as I walk through the streets of Georgetown is that there are many, many persons who are unemployed who have certain skill sets, but they also have a police record.
Yes.
We need to make sure that the police record isn't going to be held against them. I mean, many of these individuals, Joey, that I'm speaking about, they did their thing, they served their time, and it's 7 years, it's 10 years, it's 13 years.
Yeah.
So we need to stop with that.
Yeah.
Right? They've paid their dues, and they're now parents.
Yes.
They now have mortgages or apartments. They have responsibility.
Literally, we're taking it now and forcing them back to jail with it.
Correct. Because if you're not giving them an opportunity, that's exactly what
we're
we're
saying.
doing, right?
No, go back to jail.
Right. So that is where we begin with that. But I'm not saying that one is mutually exclusive of the other. We can do things simultaneously.
Absolutely.
Here's what we need to do. We need to start to get development going in this country. Mm-hmm. There are a number of projects, capital projects, government projects, and other projects that are currently on hold, and we need to fast track them.
Absolutely.
We need to cut out the bureaucracy and the red tape and get people back to work.
Yeah.
And let me tell you exactly why that's so important.
And Jonathan, before you go on, because every time a politician or a candidate says cut out the bureaucracy and red tape, people immediately jump and call you corrupt. Mm-mm. And that is not what we're saying.
No, we're not saying that.
Way.
I mean, what we're saying, simply put, is you have a checklist of things.
That's right.
Right? And if we can check the box in each of these things, you're good to go.
That's right.
That's all we're saying. That's all we're saying
is that these government agencies that need to approve these need to become more efficient and say, here's your checklist, sir. When you get these done, bring it to me. I'm going to quickly check. Boom, 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 boom. You're good to go.
You're ready for work. You're ready for work.
That's right.
And then what we need to do as well is, as I was saying, we need to diversify the economic base. And I have to say that the United Democratic Party was very good in the last 4 years in working towards that. I mean, through this government, they were able to introduce medical tourism. The Shadow Project is up and well on its way. The Special Economic Zone came on Enterprise City, is well on its way. And there are other things that we've been asked to consider, things like medical research and the like. Right. So
one of the things is, and I have to ask this question because there were several projects that were lobbied against the UDP having the majority of the House. Could just as easily have said, sorry, we believe this is best for the country, we're moving it forward. Why didn't that happen?
Joey, there's a number of reasons why it didn't happen. And I think you touched on it in the last segment. Unfortunately, because of where we are with our budget, the FCO has oversight and control. Not just oversight, control. Yeah. So many of the projects that we wanted to get started couldn't get started without their prior approval. Right. In addition to that, what they have now introduced is this FFR.
Correct.
We have to make sure that framework for fiscal responsibility, that's what it stands for. Yeah. We have to make sure that we're in line with those things along with the new and improved procurement process in order to move things forward. Right. But prior to that happening, what we were getting was a lot of vague innuendos, let's just put it that way. You know, it looks good, but we're not quite sure. Yeah. And that coupled with a very strong opposition to oppose every project and also behind the scenes lobby that certain things not happen has really stagnated the economy.
So can I this is not the kind of polite talk show that you hear regularly. You need to interrupt us and say, hold on here, I need to get in here and have a conversation, part of it, right? That's how I want this show to be. I want people to hear how passionate the candidates are too, because that's part of the job, you know. Because one of the things, just on what you said, Jonathan, is that we literally have elected members on the opposition who are now directly responsible for the unemployment.
Well, let me say something quickly, Joey, right? And then I'll pass it over to my colleague, Rail, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to say that a good example, right, is the road closure on the Westbury Road.
Yes.
Okay? Now, we have to understand something, right? When you make a decision, Joey, you automatically divide the room.
That's right.
Okay?
Immediately.
You divide the room. Yeah. Okay? And that didn't start in politics. That started from Bible. That started in heaven.
That's right.
When war broke out in heaven and Lucifer was thrown out of heaven, he took a third of the angels with him. Okay? So let's just establish that. Now, people need to understand that with development comes compromise. You can't get it all. That's why it's called negotiations.
That's right.
Okay. That project has employed scores of people. It has made the road now so you can now access Westway 2 lanes in, 2 lanes out.
That's right.
Okay. In addition to that road or that property is still for the government. All we're saying is we have developed something that is 21st century, and we're going to continue to develop it and move towards a better Cayman Islands.
Look at the new size of the public beach rail. I mean, look at the size of that now.
I know that's the thing that it's fantastic, and I'm so glad that I'm working with Jonathan here, because I wouldn't want to be this guy's enemy, man. He'd be like a piece of concrete, just pound it right to pieces.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
I don't know what am I going to say here now. This guy has covered everything.
You got cut in on him. Cut in on him.
No, man, we gotta love him, That's just how that's why we got a good team. And I love my guys, the guys that I'm running with. That's fantastic, good thinkers, and energetic and youthful. You can't beat an excellent team like this. It's just that simple, Sometimes I pray for everybody, I pray for my opponents too.
Absolutely.
So, but I think what's important here is that we have to look at a 20. Again, I stress that 20-year plan because people need to understand the whole vision. Right?
Agreed.
And the thing is that we try to do the road today, and then we try to do the port, and then we're trying to do the airport. I think people need to, particularly, I want to talk more to the older generation now. They need to think that we need to change Cayman a little bit now, because you have my generation and the younger generation that's coming up.
Yes.
And we need to get us and them working. The older generation needs to kind of back off a little bit on keeping Cayman the way it was. We can't keep it the way it was. We need to progress it a little bit. Okay?
Yeah.
And I think that's what it's important to have people understand the holistic picture of what the 20-year plan is about, to take us forward.
I like that, Real, because I think for far too long, politicians have failed to do what you're suggesting here, is to present the country with a 20-year plan so that they're not being hit with surprises every couple of years, We're going to say, here's the master ground transportation plan, and here's the timeliness of it. And all these things have to occur before it occurs. Yeah. And here's the... so I like that idea, because the public, then we can keep pushing it through the school systems. People can comment on it. The Chamber of Commerce can help present it. The banks. And there's a clear picture of what the future is supposed to look like. Yep. And in doing that, we get buy-in.
That's
and
right.
less the fractions that are developing to defeat progress and move it forward.
That's right, because that's what I want to see our Caymanians do. I want to see our Caymanians get upskilled, become their own entrepreneurs, their little small businesses grow up, and we can all benefit together as a Caymanian group. I want to see all Caymanians benefit from this pie. It's just that simple. It's one pie is our pie, and we need to eat that pie.
Joe, you spoke about ownership, right? Let me show you how ownership works now, right? So we get a large project going on, and he spoke about it. It makes sense. Look at Cayman as a reef, a vibrant reef, with big fish and small fish on that reef, okay? When a big project is started, that's a big fish, okay? And when it bites into something, it takes a chunk, but it also leaves a little bit behind.
Right.
And the little smaller fish, they can come behind, they can nibble off of that. Too, right. And that's what small business is. That's what big business is for small business.
That's right. Very great analogy.
That's right.
Yeah.
So what we need to do, to Rail's point, is we need to embrace the FDI, and then what we need to do is we need to make sure that the Caymanians have access to the vision that we have for them, so that they can then start to own businesses.
Yeah. Let me give you guys one very simple small business idea.
Okay.
I want for Northside, right? You know what it is? Servicing air conditioners. The guy does not install them. He does not sell them. All he does is service air conditioning. And he services from the Fuller Road, Queens Highway, through Frank Sound, and all the way into Rumpoint. Window units and central units. And he comes in, and he changes your filter, he makes sure you got refrigerant, and he cleans it up, and he charges you $50, and he has a little van, and that's what he does. He does them systematically throughout the day, every day. $50 serviced times 10 a day is what? $500.
Yep,
right?
That's it.
$500 a day times 5 is what?
5,000.
So much cash, very easily, he doesn't leave Northside.
Mm-hmm. He has, and that's the thing, though. I think one of the challenges we have is getting the small businesses financing for their ideas, and that's what we need to work on. We need to work on getting some financing to these small businesses. We have to take a risk on these on these small businesses.
Absolutely.
It's just that simple. One of the statistics that I found very important. Two statistics I found very, very interesting. Actually, one was in the hedge fund sphere. Some of the best investment managers today are women. It's a fact. in the small business sphere, some of the best small business persons are women as well.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting to see if we can how strong the women community
Yeah.
are as well. I want to encourage not just men to be small business owners, but women as well, because they are fantastic persons.
Well, before we go to the break, let me just tell you this, right? The next show is all about women's issues, so you guys need to tune in. And you know who my guests are? There's 3 women. None of them are candidates. So they're not on here to buy a vote.
Right.
They're not on here trying to solicit a vote.
Right.
They're on here saying, this is what we think is important.
They state
And
a
you
position.
Yes.
They
You
state a
guys
position.
better start dealing with this stuff for us, right?
Yeah.
But we're going to take a break.
Okay.
We're going to be right back, folks. So don't change the dial. Stay with us. And don't hesitate to start calling us and calling in your questions to my guests, Jonathan Pearson, Rail Borden. The number is 946-9898. 946-9898. So we're going to be right back. Don't change the dial. You're right here on the Joey Ebanks Radio Show.
Nothing is off the table. It's the Joey Ebanks